Hey everyone, today we just got a tiny sneak peek of what 2.6 theme will be like, the Tide Sending Ceremony, which confirms to me that 2.6 and 2.7 will most probably be Boneyard themed, and that 2.8 will most probably be Heaven's Reach, where we will probably find more about the Silent Sect, Order, and the Titans. As we approach Heaven's Reach, I am working on a new theory video with all that we've learned in 2.5 story as well. In case you missed that, in my last theory video, I explored the story behind the Daughter of the Kingdom outfit, which talks about a Titan princess and her mechanical bird, released in Update 2.4. Now, in Update 2.5, we not only have a huge mechanical bird in the map, but we also have a new outfit on the store called Sons of Embers that complements the Daughter of the Kingdom story. So, starting with Daughter of the Kingdom, each evolution of this outfit tells us an entire story of a princess who was meant to inherit the golden throne of her kingdom. So what I've done is I read the entire story and I summarized it, but I also included their words and text from their story, because although they are like a little bit like extra poetic and open for interpretation, some of these are actual dialogue, like things that she told to her bird or she thought to herself. So I tried to mix my summary with the actual contents of the story, just to make sense of the timeline and put the story together. From early age, the princess was taught by the nobles that she needed to seek glory through war and ignore the needs of the common people. Only then could she wear the crown. But they used to mock her, for the princess was fragile and kind, and she had only one wish: to stop war forever. Every night she would cry, feeling helpless, calling for her mechanical bird that her mother gave her, and ask what could she do. All she thought about was her people, the scars all over their bodies, the dust on their faces, the pain and the lies that the nobles told them. She would remember her mother's words, that it's in her blood to fight for her people. And although many of these corrupt nobles in the kingdom underestimated and humiliated her, they simply mistook her kindness for weakness, when instead it was her strength. The study was her front line during the day and the streets during the night. So she would sneak out every night from her palace, wrapped in robes, doing speeches, sharing knowledge that she would learn during the day at the royal palace, using the royal machinery to build warm areas to protect the people. Night after night, she would give her all to start a resistance, gathering more and more people every night to fight for freedom, until one day it was time to ignite the throne, to burn away the smoke and fires of war. Seeing how the tension was raising, her mechanical bird was extremely worried. So it said to her, "Princess, please come with me before this palace collapses. Let us leave and go to a faraway place where no one can find us." But the princess knew the truth. If she were to leave, the resistance would be blocked by a cliff. If she left, they would never succeed, so she couldn't leave. She kisses the eyes of her bird and pushes it away from the window for the bird to never come back. She said to the bird, "My bird, I want you to stay, but I want you to be free. My people is calling for help. Since my resistance cannot exist under the sun, then let me walk through the night to find a way toward the light." And at that moment, she headed over to the royal hall, the nobles pressuring her since now her mother had died, and it was time for her to just step up and claim the golden throne. But she knew that that very golden throne was the reason why her people were suffering in the first place. Ironically though, among the nobles' words and egos, they ignored the soft rustle of her skirt, their pride and blindness granting her the perfect concealment. So wearing the colors of the night, with pitch black wings, she ran towards the gates of the royal capital. "I will take the spark of the royal machinery and raise the banner of rebellion for my people, so they may see that distant dawn." And so the Daughter of the Kingdom walks through the fire, sentencing herself to death to become a spark of freedom in the ashes. After that long night, the first dawn raised, and freedom echoed across the land. So that is the story of the Daughter of the Kingdom. And on the second outfit that we just got now in update 2.5, Songs of Embers, we have the story through the lenses of the bird. Or at least that's what I think it is. For the bird outfit, we have the following introduction. I awoke because of you. My gears turned for you. I thought we would sing in the castle forever until the day you pushed me through the window, casting me to freedom while leaving yourself to the boundless fire. So to me, that's quite obviously the mechanical bird from the Daughter of the Kingdom story. Even though this is another outfit, I'm pretty sure that these two stories are connected. So I think that this is the story from the bird's perspective. The story summarized is the following. From the moment it opened its eyes for the first time, the princess was already there. They were raised together and stayed together at all times. She would hold the bird in her palm, sharing her thoughts, her fears, and her goal. Every night, the bird would perch on her shoulder, while she was sharing the throne's secrets and, I imagine, sneaking out of the palace. The bird swore to its immortal, mechanical heart that it would never leave her. But soon, the palace peace was shattered, and in the final moments as the flames drew near, she kissed her bird and pushed it through the window while saying, "Fly and do not look back." So this is the same thing that was in the Daughter of the Kingdom, and it's repeated here on this outfit as well. So they go on to tell that for years, the bird tried to fly back to the princess' palace, but frustrated at itself for not having broader wings, it hated that transparent window that presented an impassable distance. Soon the ruins forgot the temperature of fire and new grass and flowers grew. The bird brushed around the greenery around it, afraid that these new beauties would cover the last traces left by the princess, while singing and calling for her. But no one responded, because at that point the princess was long gone, turned to dust. But the bird kept singing for its princess while listening to the sounds within its own body to slow down little by little until it returned to silence. So that's awful. I hate it. Worst story ever. I feel so heartbroken. I hated it so much. It's so sad. The kids. The fact that the bird was trying to go back to the princess over and over for like decades, centuries even. It just couldn't come back. And I think that now we could talk a little bit about the key points that I noticed on these stories that are going to build up to my theory for 2.8 Heaven's Reach. But I'm not gonna delve too much into details because I want to make a separate video for the theories. But a few things that I found very interesting that really popped in my mind was that the princess would hold the mechanical bird on her palm. So I feel like that confirms that the princess was a titan, because you need to be really big to carry that bird in your hands. So I think that almost confirms that yes, this is a princess from the Titan Kingdom. Not only in the Daughter of the Kingdom outfit, we have references to a golden throne, a golden palace, you know, something being sealed away, going away, and now we know that Heaven's Reach was sealed away all this time. Another thing is that on the Songs of Embers, we have reference to the transparent window that presented an impossible distance. I feel like this window could actually be a metaphor to the barrier, not necessarily an actual window. So maybe at the very final moment of the Titans going away to the mountains, maybe the princess knew, of course, that they were going to be sealed away, and she pushed the bird so the bird could be free outside of that space. But she was working on that revolution, right? She was changing the Titans' society forever, hopefully. I find really sad that the bird is sad to remove the plants around it because it didn't want the plants to grow over the areas where the princess traces could have been. So I think it's interesting because the mechanical bird on the map is also around a green area that around the bird, like surrounding the bird, doesn't have any plants. It almost looks like it was in fact kind of like brushing away the plants. And I also find interesting that the bird has an immortal mechanical heart. So I'm really hoping that this story will be more important than we think, and that perhaps to reach Heaven's Reach, we'll need to reawaken the mechanical bird. Because again, Heaven's Reach is inaccessible. Wilhelm is not being able to access it for now with the Sonara birds. So maybe the wings need to be crossed by an actual mechanical bird instead of a real bird because of maybe there is like a very strong wind. Maybe it's an elevator. They need to explore a cave underneath Heaven's Reach, and then they need to, from this cave, they will find an elevator that takes them to the city, something like that. But I think that maybe we will awaken this bird again, and I really hope so, because that will be, like, it's sad because the princess is not there, of course, she's dead, but Nikki could present, like, a comfort and a help for this bird. Like, it's just so sad that the bird story ends like this. I hope it has, like, a bit of a happier ending in the end. From the Daughter of the Kingdom outfit, there is tons of things that I'll break down in more detail on my theory video that I'll post in a couple weeks, which is how her outfit talks a lot about the night resistance. Like, the resistance happens in the night. It doesn't happen during the day. It says a lot of times in the outfits pieces that her battlefield was in the study during the day and on the streets during the night. You know, like, she was trying to, after a long night of fight and resistance, igniting the throwing flames, the people would see the first dawn. So it's very much about light and darkness, night and day, which is a theme that we've seen in 2.0 trailer. When they first announced It's a Land, we saw that duality as well. So I'm very interested in that. So, and I'm really hoping that we'll get the Titan King's lore and the cultists, like the Silent Sect Order lore as well. Another thing is that I really hope that Daughter of the Kingdom is the Titan King, but it could be the Titan King daughter, because it does talk about the princess mother in the story, so it could be her daughter instead as well, which would be interesting contrast. Like, Daughter of the Kingdom is like this fragile, soft princess, and her mother was just like this insane battle warrior, warmongering, you know, person. Tiny little thread is that Empire of Light seems to be very related. I already mentioned this in another theory video. If you want to check that out, I'll pin that down below. Empire of Light has a lot of similarities to the Titan Society, and Empire of Light has a evil order that we call the Order of the Dawn, and they are the ones who chased away the insane chaos in the Serenity Island that the pieces fought for. So I think it's really interesting that the light here may represent evil and the dark actually good, but I'll cover them in more detail next time. I hope you enjoyed learning more about the outfits lore, and please let me know down below if you're interested in this kind of video, because then I could start sharing all of the outfits lore that I find interesting. For example, Providence Immemorial is really cool, and I really need to share all the details of it. And if you have any suggestions as well, I wasn't very sure how to approach this, so I made kind of like a summary mixed with the actual game tags, but you could let me know what you think about this and if you would like more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all of the members and patrons who support the channel and make these videos possible, and see you on the next one.
Ryan Little.
Listen